What is going on, everybody? AJ Riley with Eric Vincent for one of our last pre-draft shows. Eric Vincent, how excited are you for this
Oh my
draft, my man?
gosh, I'm too hyped, man. We this close. We getting
We are
there.
so
Oh,
close.
the drama's gonna be through the roof for this. I cannot wait
It's
for the
going to be
draft.
through the roof. And so we want to, on this more deep dive, go into what we talked about last night on the live, which is Anthony Richardson. So we're going to evaluate him a little bit deeper and then get into a little discussion about the Detroit Lions and their quarterback situation. They have two on the roster. Who's going to be that third one? We want to get all of that tonight on your favorite Detroit sports show, Beyond the Box, with your two favorite Detroit sports hosts, Eric Vincent and myself. All that's coming at you next. All right, Eric, let's talk about Anthony Richardson.
Let's
Now,
do
I
it.
know that you are partial to him,
Just a wee bit. Just
and
a
I am
wee
not
bit. Yeah, yeah.
as much.
Mm-hmm.
I was, and the more that I think about it, the less that I like the idea. Why do you like Anthony Richardson?
I like Anthony Richardson for the obvious things that we know about him. I like his size. He's a
Okay.
young quarterback. He's 21 years old. I think the obvious things are his measurables. He has a cannon of an arm, as we saw during his pro day, as we saw through the season. You know, he likes to wing the ball deep. Florida tried to predicate that and make that like the strength of their offense, was try to, gun the ball down the field with him. And I feel like while he's still a raw quarterback and he does have things to work on, kind of similar to Jalen Carter, I feel like Anthony Richardson coming to the Lions would be the best team that could bring out the best in him. So while he's not perfect, there are things he can work on. I definitely don't think he's a finished product. He's not a immediate, like, I don't think, if regardless, like if he started with the Colts, like I don't think he would be hot right away. I think he would take him a little while to tune up. So even with the Lions, he gets to sit for 2 years behind Goff. The team will be better. The offensive line stays intact. They'll be able to keep things that are predicated around him to bring his skill set into the to its pinnacle. So I have no doubt that Brad Holmes and the Lions will be able to provide that to bring out the best in him. So I like that dynamic in his game.
Yeah, I do too. Let's get to know him a little bit. I am hesitant. I'm very hesitant when it comes to Anthony Richardson. But let's get to know him. 6'4", 244 pounds. So he's an animal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very physically gifted. 4.43 40-yard dash, 1.53 10-yard split, 40.5 vertical jump, and a 10-foot 9-inch broad jump. Has a prospect grade on NFL.com of 6.35, which means that he will eventually be a plus starter. And his comp is Cam Newton.
Mm-hmm.
He's 21 years old. He has only played 24 collegiate games.
Mm-hmm.
And that to me is a bit of a con. Not the age. I love the age. I think him being 21 years old is phenomenal. I think that speaks to everything you just spoke to
Mm-hmm.
and actually weighs it a little bit heavier, to be honest, if I'm being fair and unbiased in my opinion, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think him being 21 years old with the opportunity to come to a situation like Detroit is, you're 100% correct,
Mm-hmm.
the best situation for him. I'm not even going to try to argue that because it would be a fool's errand. But 24 starts in college, I just don't think is enough, especially when you look at the numbers that he put up. Now, he did have a 12-2 touchdown to interception ratio over his last 6 games at Florida,
Mm-hmm.
which that shows improvement, and that's really good. I just am very, very hesitant Very hesitant. Can you understand my hesitation?
To an extent, because while yes, there are some things that he can work on in terms of improving as a quarterback, he doesn't have to be perfect right away. And even with the worries and the concerns they have, like, oh, he's not good with intermediate throws. Like, okay, I understand that. Do we not think he can't get better at that? Do you like that's the thing? So even if he's not good at it in his rookie year, the ideal situation is we'll never see it. At least unless we're blowing out the Chicago Bears by 30 points, then he comes to clean up for the last 7. I'm fine with that. But outside of that, you're not going to probably see much of him. So to me, the concerns are not going to be glaring. If they still are by the time he's playing and he's not progressing throughout the season as a starter, then yeah, we'll get to that point. But I feel like what we know about him, again, with his upside, with his athleticism, his ability to run out the pocket, extending plays, like that dynamic that they don't have with Goff at this moment, he brings that, and he can certainly improve as an intermediate thrower in the process.
I sure hope so, because it would be the second year in a row that Brad Holmes has drafted somebody that would not have an immediate impact on the field.
He loves that.
And again, I don't necessarily hate it, but you hope to not be picking this high at least for the next 4 to 5 years.
Right. That's another
So you
reason.
want to take advantage of what you can take advantage of to fill holes of immediate need.
Sure.
Which, again, we've agreed. There's not really a ton of immediate needs for this team.
Right.
Which, to your point last night, was, okay, so if there's not immediate needs and your guys are off the board, then draft the quarterback. Yeah, that's valid. I'm not going to argue that because it's kind of a fool's errand, right? But there's pros and cons, I think, that come with Anthony Richardson. So let's dive into some of those strengths of his game, some of those weaknesses in his game.
Okay.
What do you see as, let's start with the bad and then go to the good. What are the weaknesses in Anthony Richardson's game?
Yeah, the weaknesses stand out pretty glaringly. I mean, you spoke on experience being one. Playing only 24 games speaks to enough in itself. Being 21 years old, not having much experience. I believe his first couple seasons, he wasn't really that visible. It wasn't really that productive as we saw in his last season. So the inexperience is there as one. But I mean, as a rookie, that's kind of the point to an extent, maybe. But for him, also the intermediate passes. I mean, you have to be able to sit in the pocket and be able to throw guys open in the NFL. What he kind of predicated himself on was relying on broken plays and, playing schoolyard and being able to find guys, whether down the field or in broken areas of the field. He's going to have to be able to stand in the pocket and throw guys open. And he didn't really show a whole lot of that, but again, given his measurables, given his talent, given his, his arm strength, I believe those will be able to kind of, potentially be fixed. But those to me are some of his immediate concerns, I guess you could say, for right now in his game.
So I see, we watched the tape last night.
Mm-hmm.
We've had these conversations. When I evaluate a quarterback, I evaluate them from not only my eyes, but also experience. Not that I played at the level that they're playing at, but I do know how to play the quarterback position. And there are some things that I saw that I don't love when it comes to weaknesses. Specifically, and we talked about this a little bit off air, but those 3 throws on the out route at the combine have soured me completely on him because they were very bad throws. And I know, small sample size. And that's something that can be fixed. The question is, will it be fixed? And you can also hide that deficiency a little bit. And I think Ben Johnson would be creative enough to hide that deficiency. And I told you off air, and I'll stand by it. Had he been making those throws on the run, I think that they're dead accurate.
Right.
But I think the fact that he was standing in the pocket, trying to make an out route, which one of the hardest throws for a quarterback to make is a 7 to 10 yard out to the left if you're a right-handed quarterback. Because the footwork has to be so perfect or else you're going to be inaccurate.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the knocks on him from the draft guides is his accuracy issues are often a function of poor footwork.
Right.
Well, yeah, no doubt. He also has a howitzer for an arm.
Yeah.
And it makes me nervous that he can't that was kind of like the big knock on Cam Newton, right?
Yeah.
Cam had a really good arm too, but Cam could not tame his arm in the sense that he could get the touch over the linebacker, but before safety,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
And that is exactly what you need to be a really good NFL quarterback. You can't just missile the ball in there every time, or it's going to get lost.
Right.
You know,
it was either a check down to C-Mac or a bomb down the field.
right? And in the NFL, you can't live or die by getting the ball to JMO down the field or checking it down to David Montgomery. That's not a good recipe for success. You have to be able to take advantage. In all essence, that's why Jared Goff is considered to be a better quarterback than most give him credit for, because he's pretty decent at throws 10 yards and under.
Mm-hmm.
Really decent at throws 10 yards and under. So those really like raised the red flag for me in a lot of ways.
I was getting ready to argue with you. I was getting ready to say if we can't give credit for the pro day, then we can't be overly concerned about the struggles in it either. But that's not true, because it's designed for you to look good in the pro day. You're supposed to look like a hero in the pro day. You're supposed to shine and look like a superstar in, shorts and a t-shirt. And if you're missing open throws in a pro day, that's not a good look. And again, I was this close to getting ready to argue, like, oh, come on, if we don't want to be, overly, praising it when he does good. But nah, you're right. I agree with that in terms of in terms of those throws during the pro day. I do believe though that again, the Lions aren't the Baltimore Ravens. They're not a team that's going to cripple their franchise quarterback by not giving him weapons to succeed. I think the Lions have that now, and I think Brad Holmes, with trading up for J-Mo, adding in the pieces that he has, even bringing in Josh Reynolds, which was a security blanket for Jared Goff, that shows that they're in tune with getting help for their quarterback. Even their tight ends, like I think Zipperer was their best guy. He had like 13 catches through the season. Like I think the Lions are
Zylstra?
No, sorry, for Florida. Zylstra is for the Lions. I'm talking about for Florida. Florida's
okay.
tight
I thought
end.
you were talking about
right. My
bad.
fault. Yeah. So I think Keon is his first name. Keon Zipperer. He was their best tight end, if I'm not mistaken. He had 13 catches, 1 touchdown. I think the Lions are going to be looking to elevate at that position somehow. And I think having that would be a big benefit for his game in terms of his growth.
So we kind of addressed the strengths while we've addressed the cons as well, right? We've addressed some of the pros. Like he's got a great arm.
Mm-hmm.
He's wildly athletic. Those are things that you can't necessarily teach.
Mm-hmm.
Finding a way to tame that athleticism and stuff is what a coaching staff would need to do in order to make him the most successful. I want to get into talk about how does this affect the Lions draft strategy, but before we do that, tell the people about gearupdetroit.shop.
Let's talk about it. What up, though, Detroit sports fans? Did you know you can now rep your favorite team in style without even leaving this page? Gear Up Detroit store is now available right here on YouTube, just below the video you're watching right now.
That's right. You can browse through our range of high-quality, unique, and stylish merchandise for all your favorite Detroit sports teams, the Lions, the Tigers, the Red Wings, and the Pistons, without missing a moment of your favorite Detroit sports show, Beyond the Box.
And check this out. Even if you want to explore more awesome gear, you can always visit gearupdetroit.shop for a full range of tees, hoodies, hats, amazing swag that you can check out, and more, all designed by talented local artists.
So as you're getting ready for the draft next week, we're less than a week away from this. Make sure that you gear up and support local creators by making a statement with gearupdetroit.shop. And remember, you can shop right here on YouTube or visit gearupdetroit.shop.
Yes.
Now, Anthony Richardson, does it affect the Lions draft plans? Yes or no? We got about a minute.
Yes. I think he does.
Do you think it does?
I think he does. To me, I feel like it's in play. Them interviewing CJ Stroud has showed that they're intrigued with the quarterback, which, they talked about. He brought up Nate Sudfeld by Brad Holmes in the presser. You can clearly elevate in your quarterback room over Nate Sudfeld. So At that point, if the two defensive guys that we love, Will Anderson and Tyree Wilson, are gone, I'm absolutely keeping quarterback and him, Anthony Richardson, in play at number 6. Absolutely.
I don't buy into the interviews. We talked about it last night on the live, man. These guys are great poker players. That bringing Stroud in was purely a move.
Sure.
It wasn't. It doesn't signal that they're ready for yes, they need a quarterback. It does not signal that they're going to be looking at one in the first round.
It could. It just means it's not necessarily meaning that they're going to get Stroud.
If you believe that, I have some lakefront property in Idaho I'd like to sell you as well.
Please don't do me like that. It absolutely
I'm
keeps
just
on the
saying,
table.
man.
Come on.
This is the season of smoke screens. There's no way. I just, if I were a betting man, I would be willing to bet that there's no way they're going after a quarterback in the first round. I just don't believe so.
It's very possible. It's very possible.
I don't believe so. But go ahead.
No, yeah, I was just saying, Will Anderson and Tyree could absolutely be off the board before the Lions even get a chance to pick. And if they're going to pass on Carter, quarterback makes a whole lot of sense. Again, we talked about it on the live. You said maybe Quentin Johnson, the receiver, you would maybe be comfortable with that there, or maybe Bijan. I would not. If I had to decide between those 3 positions, quarterback is at the top of that list for me at number 6.
Maybe, but we want to know what you think. What do you think about Anthony Richardson to the Lions?
You're here for it.
If you're with Eric,
yes.
If you agree with Eric, let us know. If you disagree with Eric, let us know. But what we need you to do is make sure you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. So like this video, share this video so we can continue to build a very strong Detroit sports community here on Detroit Sports Nation's YouTube page. So we're talking quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. Let's go ahead and assess the Lions quarterback room, which maybe leaves something to be desired.
Yes.
Okay.
At least for us. Yes, for sure.
So the Lions quarterback situation, listen, the QB1 is not a problem.
No.
QB1 is not a problem. When we talk about analyzing Jared Goff here, the Lions are in good hands. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's really debatable or even questionable.
Not at all.
And you feel comfortable with Jared Goff being your quarterback for the next 2 years?
I do.
You feel comfortable with Jared Goff being the quarterback that will lead them into the playoffs this year and be the quarterback starting at Ford Field for the first home football game?
I do.
In the playoffs in a long time.
I do. For these next 2 years.
I 100% do too. Mm-hmm. I do too. Considering the options available, considering the draft situation that has presented itself, there is nobody else that should be leading this team other than Jared Goff. Mm-hmm.
You're 100% right.
That's the analysis. That's the deep dive. That's it.
You say a lot of sweet nothings to Jared right there. He would appreciate that because he's earned it. He's absolutely earned it.
He has earned it. 100% he has earned it, and he's shut loudmouths like myself up.
Yeah, we give him his credit. You've given him his credit when he's earned it. He's based on the NFC, looking at the quarterback landscape and really just the teams in general. Like it's built for him to thrive. Like it's not like when he was in the NFC West. Like it was a lot of good quarterbacks in that area, in that division where he had competed. It's not like that anymore. The NFC has kind of taken a step back in all divisions, to be honest. So it's really set up for him to be one of the, more prime looking quarterbacks for these next couple of years.
Look, we talked about it before. He finished in the top 5 of value added on Football Outsiders and DVOA in the NFL, which means that he should be jockeying for either the best, second best, or third best quarterback in the NFC. I can't name 4 guys better than him. I can't name 3 guys better than him.
Let for ESPN First Take tell it. They were debating, is Justin Fields the best quarterback in the NFC North? It's absurd. I don't understand the praise for that
I don't
man
understand
and
I don't understand it either.
the disrespect that Goff is getting. Again, we've had
We'll
our
see
own
what he
beefs
does with DJ Moore now, but
right.
I mean, yeah, I can't name Jalen Hurts. Okay,
That's it.
yeah,
Is he better than Kirk Cousins? Yeah. Is he better than
I would take him.
Kyler Murray? Yeah.
Is he better than Dak Prescott?
Yeah. Daniel Jones, obviously, even whatever he got
Yeah.
paid, I don't care.
Justin
Justin
Fields,
Fields. Yeah, it's not a whole lot of
Jordan Love,
it's not a whole lot of big
Trey
guns.
Lance. Those are big question marks.
Oh,
Better than Geno Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Better than Derek Carr. We don't know who's playing quarterback for the Buccaneers.
Nope. Baker.
Better than Desmond Ritter down in Atlanta.
Yep.
Like, you cannot name 3 guys better than you can't even really name 2 guys better than him. Him and Jalen Hurts should be jockeying for that top spot.
I agree.
This year.
Yep.
And I'm 100% comfortable saying that. And 100% okay saying that.
Is it a hot take to say that he might have a better year than Jalen Hurts next season?
He had a better season than Jalen Hurts last season, minus the rushing yards.
See, there you go. You love trying to take away the rushing yards. That counts.
Well, that does count. You're 100% right, but that's why people would consider Jalen a better quarterback, right? Is because he adds that added element, which Jared Goff will never add. So if you do try to compare apples to apples and just judge them based on their throwing, Jared had a better year.
Okay.
That's all. That's all I'm trying. Like, I know you can't take the rushing yards away. Like, that's part of Jalen's game. That's why he got the bag that he got last week.
Absolutely.
No doubt about that.
Yep.
But, and I mean, he led his team to a Super Bowl. So, I mean, it obviously worked for them. There's no, I'm not arguing that.
No.
But how could Jared then compete to have a better year than Jalen Hurts?
It's going to have to be through team success. I mean, we've seen the Super Bowl loser take a step back after they, take their L. I don't know if that's going to happen unless that defense implodes after adding that senior defensive assistant that they just dropped in their locker room. What are you doing, Philly? What are you doing? Oh, my goodness.
News broke yesterday of Matt Patricia joining the staff of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Someone hugged Darius Slay.
As after they just extended Slay, too.
What?
Like, this is the ultimate to me, and I know this is a little bit off track, but it's got to be said because you brought it up.
That's fine. We'll go back to golf in a minute.
This is the ultimate read the room situation.
Bruh. You can't tell me that defense is sitting there like, oh, yeah, this is the one. They like, we did what? Who's coming here? Oh, I would love to be a fly on the wall to see those reactions. But, yes, I think this could be the year that we see Goff maybe compete and maybe look like that
number one quarterback
in the NFC. It's very possible. It's very well on the table. For the whole room, though, so it starts with him. Yeah,
we got to move.
Right, so it starts with him.
It does.
And then it kind of ends after that because Nate Sudfeld is kind of Nate Sudfeld. So,
well, yes, he is. But we also we don't know what Nate Sudfeld is because we didn't see Nate Sudfeld other than to take a knee last year, which is great fortune. Like, let's be very clear. The fact that we didn't have to use Nate Sudfeld last year is a really good thing. Yes. It does make me a little nervous should we need to use him this year because making it through an entire 17-game schedule with your quarterback intact is very, very difficult.
Right.
See San Francisco 49ers, right? Mm-hmm. Can he be a capable backup? Maybe. We don't know. But there needs to be a third person put in there. Like, that third person has got to be... It can't be a 21-year-old rookie.
Yes, it can. Yes, it can. It absolutely can. Given where the Lions are trying to go, we don't want them drafting in the top 5 for the next however many years. You have a chance to lock this guy in. He's in a position where he can grow. It makes all the sense. A dynamic quarterback like him would be perfect on the Lions. You absolutely could stash him as your number 3.
But I'm going to play devil's advocate for a second.
Okay.
You've drafted, let's say they draft Anthony Richardson at 6. And in game 9, Jared Goff goes down with a strained hamstring. He's going to be out for 3 weeks. Okay?
Okay.
You're right towards the end of your, you're getting towards the back half of your schedule.
Okay.
You're in a playoff push.
Okay.
And Nate Sudfeld comes in game 1 and couldn't throw water into the ocean if he was standing on a boat.
Okay.
Are you contemplating playing Anthony Richardson at that point?
Yes. I'd rather do that.
No,
I'd rather
my
do that
goodness.
than like to me. Okay, let's say they sign Teddy Bridgewater and Goff goes down. Like, that don't move me. Like, the Lions are gonna have to me, I don't think you're getting to where they want to go. They're not gonna contend unless Goff is under center. So if he goes down and Sudfeld is garbage, yeah, play the rookie that you invested a lot in that has upside. Give him a shot. Let's see what he can do.
Okay, I'm gonna be very blunt with you right now.
Please, it's 420.
If that scenario played out, Anthony Richardson will never meet his ceiling. And I'll tell you why. If you draft Anthony Richardson, then he's wearing a ball cap and carrying a clipboard for the entire year.
Unless your example comes up where Goff gets hurt. And okay.
I would make him the 4th quarterback.
So what would you do? You would just sign another guy off the street and
I would look to sign like a Bridgewater.
No way.
Again, we're making so much of a big deal about a backup quarterback. You need somebody who can get in there and keep water out of the boat for 3 weeks. That's what Bridgewater can do. He can literally keep water out of the boat and at least keep you afloat until Jared Goff comes back. Trusting a rookie to keep the water out of the boat is not going to be a recipe for success. So you let Sudfeld...
Huh? 3 games.
But how many did they miss the playoffs by last year, Eric?
By a small one, but still.
One.
If you're investing a
one is all that matters.
If you're investing a first rounder in him, you should be able to trust him for 3 games. And I believe that's more than enough. That's not a lot. 3 games? What if he comes out 2-1? If he gives you a Cooper Rush type performance like he did for Dallas last season, you can live with that.
Cooper Rush also was not a raw rookie.
Yeah, but he's also not that good. So, it's not really that much different.
But that's what I'm saying. Do you trade those 3 games to maybe stunt the growth of your 21-year-old rookie?
He's a part of your future plans anyway. So, let's see what he has for 3 games.
I would rather get him into a situation where his confidence is continuing to be built up rather than situations where it's getting knocked down. Because playing quarterback is as much about your confidence and your swag as it is about anything else.
Of course.
So let's not put him in a situation where he may fail. Let's create situations where he can succeed if you plan to draft him and play him. That's why I would have a second guy on the roster to take over if Sudfeld were to struggle.
So do that then. But I don't think playing him should be out of the question. If you want to bring in another Bridgewater type quarterback to sit behind him, in case he's looking horrible, scenario, then fine, bring him in. But I don't think playing him for 3 games or taking a look at him, even in a playoff stretch, on this terrible schedule that they have, I don't think it's going to hurt him. I think he should be just fine as a first round pick. Like, he's not a project 4th, 5th rounder. He's a first round pick.
I don't know. Brad Holmes did address the quarterback situation yesterday in his press conference. He did say that there would be a 3rd quarterback added to the roster.
He did.
There's some guys that are waiting to sign to see what teams do in the draft, which totally makes sense. And they have Nate Sudfeld as well. Again, worst case scenario if you have to rely on the backup quarterback. We don't want to do that. That's not a situation that we're looking at and saying, oh my gosh, we have to have the best backup in the world. That's not the case.
No, not at all.
Because in the NFL, if your main quarterback goes down, usually that signals an end of the season for you.
Yes.
So and if that's the case, it's even more reason why I wouldn't play Richardson. Like, if it's the end of the season and it's not gonna go well, could really turn the tide.
End of the season, yes. If it's the middle, like your scenario said, let the kid play. If it's the
No,
if we
I'm not saying the end of the season as in timeline. I'm saying like usually when your starting quarterback goes down, that marks the end of your season.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
Like your season's over
Right.
at that point. But listen, we're going to have a lot more clarity next week when we do our live draft show. So make sure that you are tuning in for our live draft show because we know that you are as excited about the draft as we are as excited.
And as you should be. So join us for our exclusive 2023 NFL Draft live show where your favorite analysts, AJ, Eric, and Dylan will be breaking down each first round pick as it happens. We'll be reacting to all the drama, all the surprises, all the jaw-dropping moments that we won't see coming of this coming NFL draft.
So, and we want you to be a part of the action too. Share your thoughts, your reactions, predictions live in the comments, and your two favorite Detroit sports hosts and Dylan will get to them throughout the show. Don't miss this chance to engage with fellow Lions fans and have your voice heard.
Mark your calendars for the 2023 NFL Draft live show. Do it right now. It should already be marked anyway. It's a week away, April 27th, hosted by Detroit Sports Nation. Be sure to lock in on our YouTube channel. Subscribe now. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single moment of this epic NFL draft.
We will see you there, and go Lions.
Yeah.
Now, tonight we have discussed Anthony Richardson in depth.
My guy.
His guy, not my guy. I'm very torn on Anthony Richardson.
I got you there.
Boom or bust is he is the definition in a lot of ways. Yeah, you think boom, I think maybe not. And then we looked at the Detroit Lions quarterback situation. They have a very good quarterback one, possibly the best in the NFC at this point. And that's a good situation to be in. Behind that, though, not necessarily so great. And there will be more names added to that room. Maybe one, maybe two. We'll see. All of that will become clear in the next couple of weeks. And where you can tune in to find out about those names is right here on Beyond the Box. So make sure that you've liked this video and shared this video so that we can build an awesome Detroit sports community here. Make sure you've liked and subscribed to our YouTube channel and pound that bell for notifications so you can get notified when our latest shows drop. We go live every Monday at 9, every Thursday at 9, and then we drop more in-depth episodes on Tuesday and Friday at 5 o'clock. He is Eric Vincent. I'm AJ Riley. This is your favorite Detroit sports show, Beyond the Box. We will catch you Monday night live at 9 o'clock. Have a great weekend. Have a safe weekend, and we'll see you Monday.
Peace out.